me fire, give me that one to the side.
I guess we'll go over the normal stuff. The initial green is on, initial start is on the green. Restart's on the leader. Leader has the lane choice, and you can go anywhere from the start of turn 4, as long as the when the pace car goes off the track from the start of turn 4 until the flagman waves the green.
Well, Dean, the good news is I can't hear it, so I got you covered up here, buddy. The Jesse Jones Hotdogs 150, brought to you at Martinsville Motor Speedway, and son, this is a classic right here.
Someone calls a caution, claim it, we'll give you an EOL. If just like a chain reaction type deal, and everybody agrees it was racing deal, then no EOL will be given. If each one of you thinks that the other did it and neither one wants to take responsibility, we'll just look at it after the race, and I'll do the penalty after the race. Have one set of tires, one faster pair. It's Martinsville, so it's just, especially on the starts and restarts, really brake a little early. Can't go into normal braking zone, or you'll run into the person in front of you. So let's try to be patient. 150 laps.
Yeah, a little bit of racing luck will go a long way for some of those guys. We're real fortunate to be able to see an absolute or a real championship battle form tonight. In order for Tyler to win this championship, he needs a little bit of luck. Brian Cole's got to have some bad luck. We see Walker Cole in the hunt, still not out of it, mathematically possible. Austin Miller, we're going to need a little help here. But the truth is, Martinsville can produce all kinds of different racing, Dean, and you never know what's going to happen at this little half-mile track.
Get a mic check.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen comers and goers who are short run specialists. We've seen some guys who are long run specialists. And managing that race to your advantage with pit stops is going to be key. Martinsville can and sometimes does produce a lot of yellow flags. So tonight, these racers are going to be on their toes. Braking points are different. Exit points and apexes are different. This track really plays into a lot of different driving styles. It's a little more forgiving to the guys who are hard chargers into the turns. So you're going to see some guys, basically running all over each other, Dean. And, with those cautions, they breed cautions. We could get some yellow flag strategies at play, and the field could get shaken up if we find a green flag run too.
Audio issues, so everything we say in the chat within.
Dean, it looks like we can't be heard. Yeah, we can't be heard on YouTube by you, Dean.
Make sure we keep it clean. Just think about it before you say anything. Things can happen.
Yeah, I can't hear you on YouTube right now.
That will be on the broadcast tonight.
So don't say booger.
We'll go ahead and get that worked out. So anybody who's driven Martinsville in the past will tell you, this track can be real forgiving for drivers, like I said, who overcharge the turns, but you got to manage those tires. You got to manage the car. This is one of those places where patience can be a virtue, but you'll see the hard chargers coming forward. Guys like Larson Parker, Tyler Lem, some of these guys. Colin Kennedy used to be a nice hard charger. He's going to have to see what kind of track plays out for him tonight as well.
All right, sounds like I'm back in action here, Baron, and I think it's probably for the best you didn't hear me for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And here we go, the Jesse Jones Hot Dogs 150 getting ready to kick off here, and I'm looking forward to it, Baron. You've summed it up nicely on what we got going on here. Martinsville, 2 races left. Brian Cole leader in the points, and it looks to me like he's sitting on the point as well.
Not a bad place to start a race at Martinsville. So we'll see if Brian can get that car nice and wide, and everybody wants to go up there and challenge him. So Dylan Connor right there on his outside in the 18 machine on your screen is the 92 by everybody else's measure. Oh, wait, I'm looking at it backwards. Look at me go.
Dylan Connor still not gridded up yet. Brian Cole on the point here in our K-T.org qualifying. It's Brian Cole, the time of 19.839 in the 01 on the point. On the outside of row number 1, it's going to be Dylan Connor in the 92. Row number 2 will feature Adam Newton and Walker Cole. Nice to see Newton up here qualifying a little better here tonight. Miller along with Tyler Lem will be in row 3. It's Cole and Kennedy. That's Adam Cole. Along with Kennedy in row 4. And row 5, Brad Ebley along with Andrew Perry. Perry be looking to get a finish here for all his hard efforts he's put out this year. Then it's Hines, Parker, Olson, and Herzog. Dyer and Dubuque did not start or did not grid up.
Yeah, so you were talking about Andrew Perry showing a lot of speed this season, on the hunt for some wins and, snake bit for one reason or another. And we're looking forward to seeing what Andrew's got for the rest of the season with these 2 races left. See if we can't get him a checkered flag.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Perry, we've been rooting for him here. It just hasn't gone his way, but we've seen this from other guys, in other seasons and kind of learn from it, like a Tyler Lem or others along the way that, sometimes it takes a season or 2 here before you get into those, get a little bit of luck going.
We're about to green flag here, yeah.
Absolutely. Cole and Connor out of turn 4 they go. Green flag will drop here momentarily as Cole holds him off. A late start from Brian Cole. I like it.
Yeah, and he's got a little competition in that 92 right now on his bumper. And that hold kept him close enough. Oh, we got a caution already. Look at this.
Yeah, Herzog along with Barry Hines here. These two had some kind of problem. Looks like Larson Parker involved as well.
Good Lord.
And a good Lord coming out from Barron early on here tonight. So we see Parker here, black car. Behind him, that's the 3 car of Kennedy. In front is Herzog. Oh, and I wasn't really paying attention up there. Something abruptly happened there as everybody's going down slow into the corner, but the 8 just breaks loose.
Yeah, a lot of rear brake in that car. It shot it loose going into that turn. I think that scared everybody.
Well, there's not much you can do when a car snaps like that. That looked like a gear shift as well. It could have dropped that gear down.
Yep, could have been that too, for sure.
I mean, it's
so fast lap here. Fast lap, 24:47 at Martinsville.
All right.
Who we got that on?
Yeah, what's that, about 10 seconds off the pace? Or
I guess something like that, yeah. Pretty hard.
I mean, we're used to cup cars around here and stuff like that. So late models not having the straightaway speed, but they got plenty of corner speed, Baron.
Yeah, a lot of grip, a lot of on throttle time here at Martinsville with these cars. You'll see them just burp it enough to set the nose in the center, and then they're back to the gas again. So, cup cars, Xfinity cars, trucks, you'll let it kind of rotate the center, glide in, glide out, put all that horsepower down on these straightaways. Not these cars.
So we get ready to re-rack them up here. Everything pretty much status quo. You got, looks like Herzog probably took some damage from that. And yeah, you can see that front is pretty damaged up. Him and Barry Hines will be looking for the wave around here to get back on. at the tail end of the lead lap, I believe. It could be a lap down already, Baron.
Well, that would be tragic, since we only had a half a lap of racing.
Yeah, it's not good for sure.
What's the penalty if I go?
We know Herzog, you know, we talked a lot about Perry there, but Herzog also snake bitten this season, you know, not happy with the racing, you know, at times things just not going his way, like like this one where Hines loses it in front of him, and other times frustration maybe getting the best of him, but it just hasn't been his season at all.
No, definitely not. And Mark, you know, a race car driver in his own respect, in the real world, if you will, has got plenty of starts on plenty of different platforms and tracks. So it would appear Mark and who's that? Perry getting the wave around here, or Hines, excuse me, Hines getting the wave around here. So they won't fall a lap down, Dean. That's good news.
Yeah, that is good news. And, you know, I want to give a shout-out to a guy who's not here as well, Baron. Austin Purnell, not on the track tonight. But he got himself a win at one of the short tracks that he was racing at in real life, so just a big congratulations to him for that.
Hell yeah, anytime you can put the thing in victory lane, real or otherwise, that's a great day. And Austin getting the checkered flag, doing it the whole way.
Yes, sir. He was a happy boy. Looked like he had a pretty sharp-looking machine he's rolling around there.
Yep.
Always wanted one, Baron. Never got one.
Yeah, I got close enough to change the tires on one.
All right, pace truck back on the track. It's not sure what it wants to do quite yet. There it goes, diving off. We'll see if Cole holds him here like he did last time. Looks like we got someone laying back here. Is that Austin Miller way back there, or are we missing one of these guys?
They're trying to sort this thing out, yeah. Green flag racing, so that was all jacked up.
Yeah, a bit of a cluster something.
We're not allowed to curse tonight, Dean, we were told.
I don't know about... Oh, wow, Walker! Not good. And that was probably a product of being a little discombobulated from that start there.
What just happened?
I'm a little concerned. I think Walker's got... Oh, and he is crab walking.
That thing's going to need a little fixing.
That's going to need a little boot in the rear end.
On my end. My screen.
Look at that. That's fun to drive.
Yeah, he didn't even touch the
Oh, yeah. Those are good times. Look at him. He's got it.
I did a whole race like that, Baron.
Major, can you check back out damage?
Looks like he had some software issues, too. Like
I think that's what we've seen is software issues here. This did not look natural.
I don't see any, Tyler.
Yeah, you can see I'm blacking out, so he was blacking out.
I don't know. That just was crazy.
Yeah.
Things are not off to a great start here in race 10 or 11 of 12 as Walker skirts his way down.
That's a great thing right there. It'll be a fast repair for this. And
it's obvious.
we'll get that car straightened out, get him back racing.
Fastest crew on iRacing.
That's right.
Like
This is a great race to get the inner commentary on. I got a feeling it's going to get
well,
heated out
like
there.
The whole field
yeah, I wish I could hear it. I can't hear it. But,
well, we got a little radioactive going, so...
Live radioactive for the audience tonight. Should be fun.
His birthday. He was going to take priority tonight.
They're trying to figure out what
is
happened.
That what it is?
They're not quite sure.
I got a black for passing on the yellow. I guess from that last restart.
Well, I can tell you what is happening. We're going to go on 12 or 13 laps of racing and only have one lap turn.
I don't know what you got going on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good time for drinking there, and if nothing else.
I'm at home this week, Dean, in the great city of Indianapolis, Indiana. And I've got plenty downstairs.
Yeah, but
if I disappear for a minute, you know what happened.
Yeah. I got a feeling we're not going to be able to get a hold of you at some point.
Off the internet.
If that's what occurs, now look, the only thing that'll send me downstairs is 10 cautions before lap 75. So,
well,
yeah,
that's the over/under has been set. People, get your money in.
There's a 25-year-old Jim Beam down there. There's 35-year-old Jack Daniels. We're in pretty good shape here.
I'm in less shape here. You know, I really need some hard booze around here, Baron. It's apparent to me the times have called for it. Here we go, Brian Cole. Down and away. Miller trying to fill in second there. He dives in. No, he backs out of it. So Connor slips into second, doing a good job. And Dylan Connor, we know, has got the speed. Oh, back here it's Perry fighting along with Newton. Looked like almost 3 wide when I first looked at it, Baron. That shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, had 2 cautions before 2 laps, so I could see you being afraid.
I was. You know, maybe not the best time to go 3 wide when we're off to a little bit of a start here, but everything getting sorted out here. Perry rolling that car well again. Newton a little loose off the corner. That's going to allow Lem here coming in, running the old American flag on the car here. That's the jockey machine.
Good looking machine right there. As we creep up on the July 4th weekend, we got one about, what, month and a half away here. So, yeah, getting a head start. And it looks like Adam Newton just on the outside along for the ride.
Yeah, Newton's back in line here, hanging in. He's got Colin J. Kennedy behind him. A little further back, looks like they're getting a little loose back here. That's Larson Parker at the back. Oh, and Hines, wow, almost getting into him. So Hines with early problems and now almost into the rear of Larson Parker.
Yeah, and thankfully he thought better of it. So we'll get him strung out here, and then we'll see some real racing go on.
So we look back up front. It's still Brian Cole, points leader. Out front, he's leading Dylan Connor. And you know, if there was any thoughts about whether Brian Cole has figured out this car or not, I think between last week and what we're looking at right now, those questions have been answered.
Yeah, car's nice and tight on the bumpers, nice and low. It doesn't look like he's pushing it too awful hard right yet, Dean. But again, we're only 19 laps into the event, and only 6 flags, green flag raced. So the tires are still fresh. What we're hoping to see is as this thing strings out, maybe some of these guys in the rear of the field are watching their tires, and we'll see them march forward as the race wears on.
I think you will see that for sure. You know, let's not be too harsh on them. It was an early mess on the start, and sometimes, I know for me anyway, Baron, you know, if things aren't right, like I have like a pre-race routine and a start routine almost mentally, you throw that out of whack, and now I'm out of whack.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you got to have everything right. Got to have communication right. Got to have your belts right, your gloves on. Pedals got to be in the right position.
The right underwear on, the whole bit.
Yeah, yeah. That helps everything.
It really does. All right, things all settled down. Let's check in with Perry back here, battling with Austin Miller. Miller running that JD machine. We got any JD in the house at all, Baron?
Oh, sure we do, yeah. And we also got a couple cars around, and green flag racing still going here.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. All right.
That's
so
all.
something happened with
so
Newton
sorry,
there. We'll have to get a look in and see what happened.
All good.
So it looks Ebley's loose off the corners. Hines is off the corner loose. And Newton's already around. I'll have to back that up here. Looks like he may have gotten ran over. Come into the corner here. Colin J touches the back end. Around he goes. He finishes him off. That's just something you got to do. Oh, behind him, Hines and Parker. Late braking there, catching a piece of the wall.
Yeah. Accidents happen, right?
I'm sorry, you made me chuckle again with that. Yeah, Baron. Yeah. That about sums it up. A little bit of a yeah there. We're not meaning to be harsh, but you know, really, Martinsville, you do expect better. You expect these guys to race clean around here. It's a long race. We're on lap 24. This shouldn't be happening early on in a race like this, Baron. And Baron's gone to the basement. I knew it wouldn't take long. So it's Cole and Connor, 1 and 2.
That's a sharp car,
Miller
Tyler,
and
by the
Perry.
way.
So I want to also ask the audience here, what's the over-under now that Barron's went to the basement? How many drinks do you think he brings
Very
back?
fitting with
Do
the
you think just
upcoming
one?
weekend
Is it
holiday.
2 or is it multiple?
I'm going with multiple.
That influenced my decision just a bit.
I thought so.
So you got the radioactive still going on out here. I'm not sure what we're hearing. Hopefully it doesn't get us banned from anywhere.
Hard to find a scheme more patriotic than driving the flag itself.
So how about
That's
Scotty
right.
Olson here in the 77 machine? He's up 8 spots so far tonight. Just doing a whale of a job. We've seen some good speed out of Olson as well in many of these races. 1 or 2 tracks didn't suit him too well, but other than that, it's been very fast, battling for leads. We're about to go green flag race, and there we go. Brian Cole down and away. And now, I don't know if this is good for the 92, getting beside him. He's going to look to get down, and he does. Great job by Dylan Connor. Austin Miller fighting it hard to hold off Lem. Lem underneath Perry. He drives it in pretty hard. Perry checks up. Walker Cole back there. Olsen stuck on the high side. Here comes Larson Parker. We've seen this before out of Parker. I think Parker trying to show patience the last couple of races early on. He may be done with that. He may, a couple of cautions, 3 of them here early, and he might be going, maybe I need to get to the front, and I got to get there now.
I'll tell you who's not showing a lot of patience here. Scott Olson, due to the fact that there's been some incidents around him, but he is up 6 spots right now in 8th place, so right behind Larson.
Yeah, and we just touched on that. He was up 8, so he got shuffled out a little bit on the outside and lost a couple here, but Olson definitely showing some speed and probably getting a little benefit, like you said. But, it's someone I like, Aaron. We've seen him now in a few races, and he can threaten to win one of these things.
Sure can, and he's been in the mix for a few weeks now, and like you said, learning what it is to race around these guys and at these tracks. Really talented racer here, Dean. I like what I see for him in the future for sure.
Absolutely. Back up front, it's Brian Cole still being stalked by Dylan Connor. I tell you, Dylan Connor, talk about someone that's fast. We probably don't talk about him enough just because he is so good, Baron. Sometimes, someone new comes in that's this good. You almost overlook him. You don't want to give him that much attention, but he's deserved it. He's earned it. He's racing clean, and he looks like he might be the fastest guy in here.
Well, and he's just pacing right now, you can tell, and I'm wondering if Brian's doing the same thing here. A little touch of the wall there, probably a little lack of focus on the 92's behalf, but he just seems to be pacing Brian right now.
Yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot of wiggle from these guys. There's a little bit there. Let's hop on board with Dylan and see here. Looks like a bit of a large crank there in the middle of the corner. Let him know what you see here, Baron.
Right, so nice easy bend in. It looks like a little correction in the center to get his drive off. Nice easy wheel right here. Doesn't look like he's overtaxing anything right there. See, he's down on the bottom line. So he's keeping that headlight below Brian Cole's left side there. He, believe it or not, there is a little bit of aero at play even on this short track. And what he's doing is he's helping that left front grip as he just keeps that car just a smidge lower than that left side of that machine in front of him.
I like it. Let's look in on Brian Cole and see if we can see the difference here. Very similar. You see that crank in the middle of the corner there. That's just kind of the way the corner works here, I guess. Seems to be a little more gradual under the braking, if I would say, Baron.
Yeah, it would appear. Now, we know Brian, loves these cars. He's picked it up pretty quickly here through the middle and latter half of the season.
Walker,
So we got another one around here. There's a 76, Brad Ebley.
He's trying to get out of the way, but he's stopping on the track, and that will bring out a yellow.
Again, you're on your side all the way.
So let's get a quick look in and see what happened to Brad here. This looks like it's probably just a self spin, but I'm not too sure. He is in traffic here. And there you see him loose in the entry to the corner, and then again on exit down to the inside wall. Locks him up.
Bumper there, yeah. I got to that bumper and tossed him.
He got mad at the outside wall for some reason. I don't know what it did to him, Baron.
Well, you know, it scared him a little bit, Dean, and
You just
can't have that.
Well, yeah, I can see that. Like, you know, it's like when you're, you know, your brother tried to spook you a little bit, you kind of attack him, don't you?
That's right, yeah. Hit him in the ding-ding.
Hit him in the ding-ding. Oh, my. Those whole nut shots, they're not fun, Baron.
Not at all. I was not a big fan of bag tag.
So a bunch of guys coming in, some not, and it looks like mostly the old timers coming in, and some of the newer guys not. And I don't know, Baron, but we've seen this before.
Yeah, we sure have. This strategy plays out well for some of these guys where they'll pit early and then let the race play out in front of them. So good timing by these guys to actually do their pit, get their service now, and then, like I said, let this thing play out as it goes along. So we'll see. Dylan Connor assumes the lead here. We'll see if he was sandbagging or if he's got something extra for these guys.
So interesting on the pit times here, Baron. We've got a difference of opinion on what to do on pit road, I think. We have 12-second stops. We got a 29-second stop at a Walker.
Are you guys on the spectrum or what?
Not sure what's going on with Walker. He might be getting some repairs done.
Yeah.
Brad Hines earlier on had taken a 23-second
We had some problems earlier today. My wife was working from home,
and Larson Parker
we had to
took a
reboot
24-second
because
stop on lap 10.
was
So I don't know if we're looking at
slow
2
as
tires
crap.
versus 4 tires or not.
Hard to tell.
Weird
I mean,
that
those
I
are
had
really
no
long
issues
pit
yet.
stops.
Well, 11.4 is pretty short,
Well, like
right?
I said,
The
you probably have
23
preference
seems excessive,
in the
but I'm not
household.
familiar with late models.
You know,
Maybe they're a
just saying.
little longer. Seems like he's really pounding the fuel into
Maybe.
that tank.
Yeah, well, he may have something we
Point
don't.
splitter
Like,
and
we're not the
probably
first
pay the
ones to
bill.
booth jinx anybody, are we?
We
who was
are
that,
not.
Caution.
I don't even know. What are we saying anymore, Baron?
That was on me, I thought.
Well, if it's a fuel strategy race, you know, the boys are got this mapped out where they can make it to the end.
Yep.
To your point,
Right, like,
filling it up
when
as much as
we are on
possible. So
Ethernet,
longer
no,
pit
not-
stop now means no pit stop later.
Yeah.
No, we're both.
And
we're both
sometimes it's
hardwired.
just habit. You get used to other cars, right? And you just naturally fill up. But this thing can hold a lot more, and you can sit there for quite some
He's
time.
going again. 10's going again.
We'll see how it all plays out.
For sure.
Now
And
we'll
look,
get a yellow
Scott
flag
Olson,
for-
outside front row.
Yeah, Olson and Connor up front,
I'll
Parker and
Yellow
Adam
flag.
Cole in
Black
row
flag.
number 2. And these two at the front here, we've seen this before a
I'll
couple
put
of times,
the yellow
but
number.
they've never been able to make it work or last. We'll see if they can do it tonight. Dylan Connor heads down to start, and it's a quick start from the 92.
Yeah, good clean restart there. Get the field strung out a little bit, and it looks like now Larson Parker looking to take that second spot away from Scott Olson.
Yeah, he's not messing around anymore. He's seen enough. 4 cautions, 5 cautions, that's enough for the 18. He's going to go to the front. And he's by Olson and starting to chase down Dylan Connor. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get him.
Yeah, it's he might be able to track him down, but we've seen this out of the 18 before. Can he do it? Can he hold it if he does?
Yeah, I think the answer is, you know, I don't think he can hold it if he does. So he's got to play smart from here. He's got himself up here. He's got all the clean air he needs for any downforce or anything else. Now he's just got to hold this spot and play that strategy he seemed to learn last week.
Yeah, he sure did. And fast lap just set by Dylan Connor, 19.8 right now. So leader going off and trying to run away with this.
Yeah, and he's capable of doing it. I mean, we've seen him do it. Dylan Connor is exceptionally fast. The question has always been on his strategy decisions. Well, it's burning him up maybe a little bit early. I don't think he's particularly bad with that, but it's been his pitting strategy, and here we are again. He did not pit under that caution. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, we know that speed translates to wins, and you got to have some luck now. The drivers behind him have all got service, and my guess is they figured the math. They don't have to pit again.
Yeah, they may not, but yeah, I don't. He may not have to. Let's get a look at that pass by Scott Olson, who got back by Larson Parker here. It's a little too late here to see really what happened. See here, off the corner, just a little bit loose from Larson. That allowed the 75 to get position, and with patience holding that low line, he just got it done after about a lap or so. Back to live action. Connor opening up a lead, a 2-second gap back to Olson. It's Larson Parker in third. Barry Hines now in fourth. How about the 8 machine here, Baron?
Looking real good. Strong start to this race. Barry making everybody notice that he has got a fast machine again this week, Dean.
He does, and it's a little banged up from that early problem he got into, where it just snap hooked on him. I mean, it must have been a shifting error. I really don't know.
Well, he's got it sorted out, and he has come to the front, Dean.
Got Adam Newton right behind him here. Newton casually sitting in 5th position. He was involved in that same wreck. And we got something with Brian Cole. Triggered a crash reaction on my my little app here, but I don't think he crashed, but he might have headed down pit road or something momentarily.
Well, he's on the move back from his pit stop, so he's working his way through traffic right now. Looks like he's working on Tyler Lem right now, or maybe just filing in while Tyler makes the pass on the cars in front of him. But a little work to do before he gets back to the front. A little patience and work out here.
Well, this is the thing, you need a ton of patience because you got fresher tires. You were the leader, but now look who's in front of you. You got Lem, Miller, Newton, Hines, Park. I mean, these are not easy passes, and Brian overdriving the corner. My goodness.
Yeah, it slaps the wall, so that's not going to help the aerodynamics of that machine. And we've seen these things crab walk after they hit the wall, so hopefully he hasn't damaged that rear suspension at all.
Speaking of crab walking, I do not see Walker on the track. He is being scored, I believe, so that's interesting.
They've just parked it.
See, Ebley is out on the track. Yeah, Walker can't get a fix on him, so he's having all kinds of connection issues. In the meantime, Dylan Connor out here leading. Scott Olson into second. He's up 12 spots on the night. Out of Wisconsin Rapids. You ever been there, Baron?
I've been to Wisconsin, but maybe not to the Wisconsin Rapids.
Well,
don't you know?
It's not often we find a town you haven't been to.
I know, right? I'm a traveling man like I am. But yeah, beautiful country out there.
It's gonna. How are the women down there, Baron?
Wouldn't know, Dean. You know, I go for work, not for pleasure.
Wow. This is a great answer.
Yep.
Tested early in the broadcast, Barrett. Passes.
My girlfriend may or may not be listening.
The answer would be the same nonetheless, though. So we watched him in first. There's Olson. The battle for third. Hines all over the back end of Parker. And I think Parker, his car is getting a little out of shape here.
Well, we've seen it, and that right foot does the talking, and now he's real aggressive having to come out of these turns right now. So we've seen that wheel do a lot of dancing on the 18 machine. And, you know, as he's coming out the turn, that thing is hopping right and left. So we'll see what happens as this run goes on.
So we hop a couple of cars back from him, and Newton, you see Hines trying to peek. Hines right in front of Newton here, trying to peek underneath Parker, but he just can't quite get there. He might be doing what you're talking about, just keeping a little bit of air on that left side, Baron.
Yeah, having run Martinsville a bunch of times, I tell you what, it helps pin that left front. So you in Martinsville, you don't want a real tight car. You want a looser machine so that you can get the thing pointed straight and drive straight off these turns. But it's a fine line, and having that left front headlight out in the air, as you will, helps that left tire to grip a little bit more and help that car turn.
So we continue here. Newton hanging in there in 5th position. Hines right in front of him. Parker just in front of that. And then it's the 57 of Mark Herzog. How about the 57 trying to recover here, keeping his head in the game, ratting the In-N-Out burger machine back up 7 spots into 6th position.
Consummate professional right there, Dean. Didn't let the early incident shake him. He's gotten himself gathered up and knocking on the top 5 now.
Yeah, good to see. Tyler Lem, he needs a big night here. Let's take a look at our points one more time here. We'll get a second. So it's Lem, Cole, Miller, and Newton, the guys who are chasing here. And wow, Brian Cole into the wall again.
Yeah, something's not suiting him very well right now, and that car may be a little askew.
Well, it could be that, Walker's having problems. So Walker's got some kind of internet problem. He's still not showing on the track, but he's also not being scored any further than 20 seconds behind. So somehow, without driving, he's staying in this thing.
Well, iRacing sometimes has a bug, and we'll see what happens when the standings show up. It may be cycling laps, and we just don't know right now.
But we do know is that Brian and Walker are in the same house, and if there are problems there, internet, they could be, communicating or yelling or talking about how to fix things, and it's hard to drive and do that at the same time.
Aggressive communication, is that what we're talking about?
It could be. I'm just floating it out there. I mean, I'm an aggressive communicator. I need to get back in the car. Yeah, Brian hit the wall a couple times. Walker's out. We got another one around here, Dean. It's the number 9, or excuse me, the number 3. Yeah, Colin J.
Yep. And Colin playing hurt today. Broke his wrist yesterday, so he's driving with his weak hand right now, and trying to do it one-handed.
Wow.
So.
Call me, I'm done.
Playing a little injured tonight, but in the mix. So hats off to Colin. Appreciate you making the run.
Yeah, absolutely. Out here, and you can tell he's hurting because Colin's never backed this far from anybody. And here he is, just breaking loose. We've seen this from Martinsville. A little too much gas, and round she goes. And we got pit stops happening, so our leaders coming in here. And we're going to see now. You got Dylan Connor, Scott Olson's in, Hines is in. That was your top 3. You got Adam Cole and Colin J are both in.
Lucky dog coming out.
This is highly interesting. Now that puts Parker out front.
Right, halfway pit stops, and these guys decided to break the race in half. So those teams and those cars that pitted early have now the advantage. They've got their track position. So now it's a question of whether or not they can hold it for the last 75 laps of this race.
Yeah, and that will be a big question for sure. It's been Parker's nemesis trying to hold these leads, and we'll see if he improves in that regard. Adam Cole coming off of pit road. Dylan Connor coming off behind him. So Dylan Connor, wow, with a poor pit stop here for Dylan Connor. 21.9.
That's got to be what, 4 tires and fuel, right? Am I?
Yeah, it's the fuel that's holding them. I don't think, I think 4 tires is going to get you a 13-second stop. So some of these guys at 11 and that probably going 2 tires. But it's the fuel that's going to get you all the way up into those 20-second pit stops and beyond. And I think he's overfilled this machine.
Well, he's got a fast ride, 4 tires. Maybe the extra fuel makes it turn for him. That's possible. We've seen guys in a tight condition fuel the car up max, so it helps that back end rotate.
Yeah, then that's a great thing. I mean, you know, a lot of people will take less on fuel stops. Myself, you know, it's got to be gauged with other adjustments, or don't do it. You know, you want the machine to turn, right, Baron? I mean, we talk a lot about 2-footing it and all these other ways of getting it to turn. That's one of the main things about racing.
Yeah, and we see it time and time again. You'll see race teams fill it up based on weight. That helps the tire patch on the car. So not to get too overly technical with your open setup, you know, leagues, but yeah.
Is that like a tramp stamp, a tire patch? I'm not
sure. Yeah, it very much is. The more patch, the more track. How's that?
Larson Parker out in front. Newton in the second. Lemon third. It's Herzog in fourth. Brian Cole, Austin Miller, Andrew Perry, Scott Olson, Dylan Connor, and Adam Cole, your top 10. Here we go. Larson Parker leads them down to the green flag. And wow, great start by him. Herzog stuck a little bit. He's got Newton on the outside of him. This could get interesting. Newton backs out. He's looking to file in somewhere. Good job by Newton finding that hole.
Yeah, real good job. And if you're just joining us halfway through the event here at Martinsville, the field has been turned upside down by the last caution. So comers and goers here in the field, welcome to the iRacing Furniture Mart Super Series, boys and girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Where anything can and will happen. And if you think it's set now or it was set before, you'd be wrong on both accounts.
For sure. We've seen guys go 2 laps down and come back and win races. So your favorite driver is not out of it yet, folks.
Larson setting his best lap of the race in 19.97. So he's liking being out front. He's setting a hot pace. Is it too hot, though?
Well, we'll see. We've seen this this same song play out time and time again. So can Larson hold on for the long run?
Now we're here at Martinsville tonight, and Baron, there was some talk about Martinsville, and what's better, the racing or the hot dogs?
Well, if you're sitting in the stands, Dean, it's the racing.
If you're in the car, it's the hot dogs?
If you're a back marker in this track, you'd want the hot dog, yeah.
Fair enough.
Shout out to our friends in YouTube land. I want to say hi to Darren, who's been with us all season. Thanks for joining us here on Wind Tunnel TV. Jeff Kennedy, thank you so much. Larson Parker tweeting us from inside the vehicle tonight. So Larson leading the race and saying hi to the folks. This is a very special brand of racing where iRacing provides you the platform to both communicate and drive at the same time. I think that's awesome.
I think it's awesome, but I got a caution against it, Larson. No more texting and driving. Hey, let's just keep 2 hands on the wheel here and get that thing home.
Well, and if you're watching us now, shout out to your favorite driver. One more race to go after tonight. They'll settle this thing next week, and there's been a long season leading up to the final 2 races. So your championship contenders trying to stay up front, and some newcomers trying to spoil the show.
Yeah, absolutely. A great point to bring up the championship there. Leader of Brian Cole in the old one, sitting in 5th. Now, the guys who got to beat him, Lem's in front of him by 1 spot. Newton's got a couple of spots on him. Oh, and we got a yellow. And this, it's Scott Olson. Good turnaround there. I always like to see that, but
love the car control.
He won't be happy about the crash.
I don't really know if that's on me. I mean, we're all single file. Everybody jabbing the brake in the middle of the corner, but I mean, I got into him, so I'll take it if it's me.
So Olson here, he's got Dylan Connor behind him, Perry in front of him. Ooh, and looks like Connor getting in hot, gives him the tap. Ooh, and cleans them up. That's just something that you kind of have to do when you're going through there. Good car control, like you said, though. Always impressed by that.
Yeah, it's on the bottom, too. He just got hit
So if anybody's watching us right now and you've had one of the world famous Martinsville hot dogs, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about them? Let us know.
Yeah, I want to hear more about these Martinsville hot dogs. I mean, I'm hungry, thinking about hot dogs, but I can't imagine, like, what makes a good hot dog? How good can it really be, Baron?
Well, rumor is they're outstanding. I've been to this track, but it was on pit row, so I never got one of the hot dogs.
Now, when people say that, is it the dog that's good, or is it just the fix? We got some sauerkraut, you got some onions on there. What do you got going on there?
Oh man, see, sauerkraut and onions. You are from the Great White North, man. I got to tell you, I'm from the East Coast. No, you don't want anything but ketchup, mustard, a little bit of onions, man, and that's it. That's how you doing. But I know, like, where you're from, they'll powder the sauerkraut on there. They'll put the pickle, the relish, right, and all that nonsense. Hell, in Chicago, they load them up with all the toppings: cheese, and chili, and onions, and peppers, and shoes. You know, they put everything on them.
Yeah, I mean, I got to tell the truth, Baron. I'm a mustard only and lots of mustard. I mean, that's my standard go-to. But that's what I'm saying. When people are saying it's a good hot dog, is it really? Or do they just have some kind of outstanding toppings? I don't know.
Well, I'm hungry now. So
Me too.
Here we go. Now
Fire
I'm hungry.
Up the barbecue.
Going into the long weekend, having some people over. There'll be some cold frosty ones handed out, and now we're going to have hot dogs. So that's that.
Absolutely. Now, what do you got? You get yourself a nice barbecue out there, Baron?
Yeah, big old 6-burner sitting out there. We did some steaks on it, me and the missus last night. We did a couple of ribeyes last night. Beautiful night to sit out there. She drank a bottle of wine. I drank Gatorade. It was great.
This sounds wrong. I mean, you're just getting her drunk at this point. I mean, I don't know if this has to be investigated or what's going on over there. But...
Whiskey makes her frisky.
Now, we used to have something when I was a kid. We had little peach schnapps. I don't know if you've ever... It was a thing down there or not.
Oh, yeah, the peach schnapps the thing. I was a peppermint schnapps guy myself in my youth.
Well, we never bought it for ourselves, Baron. It was, dare I say it, it was called panty remover.
Well, there you go. I love it.
Here we go. Larson Parker, Martz Herzog. Brian Cole, that is, made his way up into third. Battles on. Miller trying to fill in beside Brian Cole. Good start from Parker. Miller gonna be careful here. He doesn't get freight trained on that high side, and he does do a nice job of fitting in there.
Is that similar to Goo Gone? Is that the same type of thing?
Not sure what that is, but I'm gonna guess yes.
Are we racing again? Lap 90 of 150.
Yes, sir. Round and round we go. Where she stops, nobody knows.
Darren likes fuzzy navels, man. That concoction of oh god, what was it? What is fuzzy navel now? I can't remember. Was it triple sec?
Oh my goodness, the fuzzy navel. I'm too old for this kind of talk, Baron.
I know. They were shots.
I remember. I just don't remember.
Yeah, NC Bullfrog loves his hot dogs with cold beer. Now that is the perfect pairing. I don't care what kind of mustard or ketchup you put on them. A perfect beer and a perfect hot dog, that's a win.
Yeah. I mean, you know, now we're just speaking truth, right?
That's right.
All this nonsense we put out from the booth, this is just hardcore truth. Give me cold beer, give me a good hot dog. Thank you. Lawn chair fire, we're good.
Perfect day, perfect evening. Yep. So fuzzy navel, peach schnapps, and orange juice. I think it is. Yeah. So.
That's a screwdriver, isn't it?
Vodka and orange juice.
Well, see. You know, my drinking days are behind me, Baron. I'm getting a little lost. But
nobody likes to quit.
Should pay a little more attention to the race. Great job by Herzog getting himself up into second position. Plus 11 spots, as our leader, Larson Parker, is as well, up 11 spots. So these guys have impressed tonight. Brian Cole, our early leader, through pit stops and various decisions, has ended up in third right now, with Miller in fourth. It's Perry up to fifth. And what did we say early on? You know, that the guys up front, we've seen them up there before, the Dylan Connors and Scott Olsons. Would it last? And right now, the answer is no.
Well, you're right. And the pit strategy seems to have played into the hand of the guys who pitted early again, Dean. You called it out at the beginning of the race under pit strategies, and here we go. Same result. You'd think that crew chiefs would catch on to this by now.
Right, and that's, I was trying to play it up a bit that it may be different now with the tires, but I think it's not very different, right? So these guys are in a world of trouble back here. Olsen in 8th right now, Dylan Connor in 10th, and I don't see them going anywhere. I mean, Connor is well back here, and he was dominant early.
Well, and here's something interesting. Old tires from the leader on the 18 machine, last lap, 19.96. Fresh tires from the teams that just pitted, Dylan Connor back in 9th, 20.81. So the leader with a significant advantage under clean air conditions with old tires put it on the rest of the field.
Now, don't put it past Dylan Connor to be saving back there, but with, close to 50 to go, there's not a whole lot of time for all of that, Baron.
Right. Should this thing stay green, he's got some work to do.
This battle heating up here for the lead. Parker, Herzog, and Cole up here, 1, 2, 3, and it's Mr. October. What month are we in here?
I like him because he's sponsored by Jack Daniels. I mean, call me crazy.
I know. I put this Mr. thing on him, and I've run out of Misters to call him, but it's Miller time. Austin Miller into 4th, and if we know anything about Austin, he'll be in this fight till the end. That's when he comes to life.
It's true, and Austin Miller, a sneaky fast guy, especially when he's got some clean track in front of him. He will, if all things are equal, walk that Brian Cole machine down and get in the hunt of this thing pretty quickly now. So don't be surprised we don't see him on the podium before this is finished.
Woo! Cole back into the wall. He's been loving that wall. I think he's trying to date that wall.
Well, he's going to have to buy it flowers after hitting it like that.
I mean, he might need a lawyer. He keeps this up.
Let her keep the jewelry, man.
So you see Miller here. We hop on Andrew Perry's machine. Miller right in front of him, swinging it high to low. Perry coming in a little lower.
Dean, I just love this track. Every time I get to race this track, I love it. I got a love-hate relationship with it. But, when you get into accidents, you tend to hate it. But this is just a fun track to drive, man.
Yeah, these two seem to be closing in on our leaders. So good job by Perry tonight. We talked about him earlier on. He's had kind of a quiet night here, but quietly slipped into 5th place. So Perry probably needed a quiet night. He's got one. He's got a good position. Can he improve on it, Baron?
Well, if he plays his cards right, he probably can. What we're talking about is a very accomplished driver. He's had speed, and we don't know if he's sandbagging it now or not. But look, with 45 laps to go, it might be time to start hitting that go button right now.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, 45 to go. They're going to go by real quick here, and he's got to make something happen. But it's the same old story. The closer you get to the front, the harder the passes are, and it's looking real tough with Miller in front of him, and then next on the list would be Brian Cole.
Yeah, and we'd see Andrew right now kind of show him his nose. Now, that's not going to rattle Austin, but it is going to let him know he's back there and he's got some speed in the machine. So Austin just maintaining his stuff. You see that back end rotate real well. He hasn't lost it yet, but I'll tell you what, Austin Miller knows how to make a car rotate in the center. It looks like he's doing it from entry.
Yeah, he's always had that talent, and it is a talent. It is a skill. He has it. We look a little further back now. You got Hines and Tyler Lem. Now, we haven't spoke too much about Lem, but let's hit on Hines first. He's up 5 spots. He was, obviously had that, first lap incident. He's battled all night here. He's had speed, man. Barry Hines looking good out here.
Yeah, real good, and love what we're doing with the 8 machine lately. Barry getting his arms wrapped around the new platform, so and I absolutely love the paint scheme on that machine. So Barry doing a great job tonight.
He is, but here comes the Rocket Man, Tyler Lem. He needs a big points night. He cannot afford to sit back here and take a 7th place finish. So Lem's got to make a move. He knows it. He's starting to peak in and out on that 8 machine.
Yeah, and he'll make a pass here on the 8 with the fresher tires. The question is, what's he do with the rest of the run? These laps are ticking down.
Right. I mean, a place like this, it could take you 10 laps to set up a driver and another 2 to get the pass done. I mean, we only got 30, 40 laps left here, Baron.
So, championship hopes here in peril right now for the 99 machine. Brian Cole, a few spots ahead of him in the 3rd place position, and that's his cheap competition for the championship this year. So Tyler Lem need to make something happen soon.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Cole has just got them all at bay right now. Anybody who's beaten them is really not particularly a threat to the championship. Maybe Larson Parker, if he can get the win, and hope that Brian Cole falls from 3rd here. But Lem stuck here behind Hines, and Hines got good speed, so stuck's a tough word. But with fresher rubber, he'd like to get by. There's just no way around.
Yeah, and it's a hard pass because there's a lot of speed in that 8 machine. So Tyler going to poke his nose here. He looks like he's got a little bit of a run. Keep that nose out there, buddy. Let him know you're out there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. He tucked in for a minute there and kind of gave him the opportunity, but he's got the nose again. He keep it out there.
Yeah, that's me coaching.
Oh, and here comes Dylan Connor. Dylan Connor was way out. Oh, and he's in the wall.
Oh, no.
So a little contact. He had stayed back here, saved his rubber and everything, worked his way right up to the 77 of Scott Olson. A little bit of contact while he was right. He was trying to go around him on the outside, Barrett, and looked like he was going to do it. But contact put him in the wall, and that's probably the last hope for Dylan Connor getting towards the front.
Yeah, hopefully there wasn't too much damage on it, but we'll see how that plays out. So Larson Parker now under real duress from the 57 of Mark Herzog right now. Brian Cole right behind them. So these 3 have kind of walked away a little bit despite Brian Cole taking the outside wall to dinner tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure the 01 and that wall what's going on, but how about the 18? Larson Parker out here leading this thing and not fading here, Baron.
No, and it's possible he's picked something up from his. Now he's got to win, and he'll tell you he's a hard charger. But right now, holding off some long run guys.
Yeah, I mean, I love anybody who can learn, and this is what I see out of Larson Parker. Not only do I see speed and a talented driver, but someone who's willing to adjust to a league and to learn a little bit. He's learning not only how to, be a more courteous driver or something like that, but more importantly, in my opinion, the saving tires, the long run, and the strategy. This is something when you look at like Scott Olson, Dylan Connor, they probably got, they have the speed. They just need to get the strategies down and stuff. And this is something Larson Parker seems to have learned already.
Right. And it may be going to school time because right behind him are 2 of the best in the business when it comes to long run speed. So Larson has his hands full with these 2 challengers behind him, Dean. And championship hopes in the back here. The meat and the sandwich right now is at 57. If he opens the door, Brian Cole's coming through with him.
Yeah, and the 57's got the speed now. So we were seeing the 18s, oh, and he's tagged the 57 by Brian Cole. Caution on the track. So that was a case of the 2 of them both being quicker, I think, than Parker. And Cole just did not see the checkup coming and ran into the back of him.
Dean, that's a real big deal, right? Because league rules are you turn the guy, you got to give the spot back, right? Brian Cole
could be back in the field.
So, yeah, it could be at the EOL. We'll see what league officials decide here.
Sorry about being off of that crash there, folks. Get another look here. So you watch the yellow car of Herzog here. There's nothing going on. I think I miscalled it. Brian Cole just got into him, plain and simple.
Yeah, interesting turn of events. So interesting to see what happens, what kind of a judgment is made on the 10 machine deep into this race now with only 25 to go. That would be almost the kiss of death, and that would almost, it would add Tyler Lem to the championship run going into next week.
You hear over the radio Brian taking responsibility for it, but does he get a penalty for it is the bigger question. Of course, Herzog already got his penalty from getting turned. He falls to 8th position.
So we'll let this play out as it will.
So 25 to go. Like we always say, these things are never over till they're over here at the Raid Furniture Mart Series, the late model series now.
High drama happening right now under caution. We'll see what league officials have to say.
And don't look now, but in 5th and 6th, you got Olsen and Connor now. So seemingly out of it, seemingly their speed neutralized, no longer, Baron.
Well, listen, if Brian Cole receives a penalty for that infraction, the only contender is Tyler Lem. You got to go back to Adam Newton before you find the next one.
Yeah, well, I'm not seeing any penalty. I'm not hearing any penalty. I think the penalty would have been instituted if it was here, so it doesn't look like anything's going to happen to the 10 machine here. And he's pulling over, so we're, once again, betting 1,000 at whether I'm right or not. And that's the not part, folks.
We have a habit of booth jinxing just about everybody, don't we? That's just spooky.
Well, I hope we didn't influence any decisions because we don't really know. When we look at a replay or something, that's not analyzing these incidents to their finest degree, Baron.
No, certainly not. We just know the league rules, and we're trying to interpret the league rules the best we can for our audience out there. We've seen it in the past when these things occurred, so just wondering how the league officials were going to handle the infraction.
Well, I was more thinking, too, that Brian Cole is usually, a type of guy who would give himself a penalty even if he didn't deserve it. So it was just kind of expected that he would do it in this situation? A very honorable man, if you will, Baron?
Oh, no question. No question.
So here we go. Parker, now Hines in 2nd on the outside. It's going to be Lem and Olsen in row 2. Good start from Larson Parker. Looks like Tyler Lem getting a little bit of position on the 8, but no, too much run on the outside. Hines slinging it around there.
Yeah, and so it looks like Larson Parker put the ope-de-dope on the 8 and the 99 machine and got himself out to a nice lead here, but Tyler Lem on the move, right, looking for that 2nd place finish.
Man, and this whole thing has championship implications. Lem, now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Rocket Man is up into 2nd position, and Brian Cole back in 10th. This could be huge for the 99.
So you got to think, if you're the crew chief of the 99 right now, Dean, you're telling them, hold your line, don't have any trouble, finish this thing as strong as possible.
Absolutely. Hold the position. This is not a time to play niceties. You must not let Olsen by. You can't. Here comes Dylan Connor underneath Hines. So Hines getting freight trained as he's on the high side. He's got to be hating this.
He sure does, right? But interesting enough, Scott Olsen has fallen in behind the 99, and Lem protecting the low line. He is not going to let that driver by.
No, and he shouldn't let him by. Now, the question is will Olsen turn him? If he, how much do you want this spot? How much is it necessary, Baron? Because you'd rather finish 3rd than not finish at all.
Well, every position is going to matter. Brian Cole's found in the 9th place right now. So Brian Cole will not stay patient. He is coming to the front the best he can. He's got to salvage every position he can garner right now. So as we keep turning laps, Tyler Lem knows that car is coming. He's got to hold 2nd.
And you see Cole there trying to get a run on Perry. He gets one. He dives down. Perry's going to let him go, or at least give him room to race. Around goes Brian Cole. So Cole grabs another one. He's up to 8. Lem still up here holding off Olsen. And everybody is so concerned with their own little battles. Parker's out here winning the race, looking for 2 in a row.
That's right. So with 17 to go, Larson Parker out here going, you guys go ahead and race it out, fellas. I'm just going to be up here drinking a high C.
Wow.
It's cool stuff right there.
Always cool in this league. The turn of events, the shakeups, you never know what's going to happen. Dylan Connor was seemingly out. He's worked his way into fourth. Herzog hanging right on his bumper and thinking, hey, you might have got around me. I'd like to get back around you now.
Yep. And so Brian Cole up to 8th place now, working on the 8 machine. So Brian Cole coming, man. He realizes what's happened. He's got to make every position count.
He really does. And right in front of him, poor Hines. 8 said, you know, bad luck getting on that outside there because he's a speedy machine.
Yeah, and Tyler Lem's hoping he remains speedy.
He really does. He needs to hold him off, if nothing more, to hold him up from trying to get any more than this one spot. Is Newton next, and Newton's right there. Whoa, and Hines up to the high side.
Up. Yeah. So that opens the door for the 10 machine. Here comes Brian Cole.
And he's going to get on by. So Cole picks up another one. Move him up to 7th. My goodness. Out front, Parker still leading. Lemon second. Olsen right there behind him. Here comes Dylan Connor and Herzog. It's Newton. And then Brian Cole's looking to pick up points. This could be championship points he's looking for here.
This is how you win cup championships, Dean. This is how you bring home multiple championships. Bad turn of events for the 01 machine. Accidentally got into Herzog, who happens to be right in front of, or Newton's in front of him now. But, you know, we've got a penalty handed out, and every position matters right now for this 01. And right now, he pick up another one.
Yeah, Newton got loose and then gave the Brian Cole room to race, and he let him by basically. So the 01 now up to 6th position. Lem has got to hold on to 2nd at the very least, and he's doing a great job of it. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden the 99 into 2nd position. Olsen still all over him.
Yeah, and Olsen giving him some racing room here, but Tyler needs to remain calm right now, drive his machine the best he can, keep it on that bottom line, and turn laps like they're qualifiers.
Yeah, I'm noticing him come out of those corners a little early. Here comes Olsen peeking. Olsen's got to be careful.
Olsen showed him the nose, letting him know, hey, I'm faster than you. I need to get by for that position. Tyler Lem's like, there's championship on the line now.
Yeah, 8 to go. You can't give it up. And the question is how much Olsen wants it and whether he's going to take it or not. Oh, my goodness.
So Olsen almost looked at the outside there to go around the 99. He had his nose stuck up out there.
I wasn't sure what that move was there.
Yeah, Lem's got enough drive off to really frustrate him out of apex. So Lem really doing everything he can to hold this position. 7 laps to go. Can he do it? Because 3 positions behind that, there's Brian.
If he gives up the bottom, he's going to lose more than one probably.
He'll lose 2 in a row, yeah.
He's driving for his life, his very championship life. Back in 6th, Cole basically all alone. I don't think he'll get back to Connor. Larson Parker winning this race, looking for 2 in a row here, coming down to 5 to go. The story, though, it's Lem being chased by Olsen. Olsen a little loose off.
99 drifted up. Yeah, the 99 drifted up. So he's got to be careful. Keep that on the bottom. Look at us rooting him on.
What was that?
I said, look at us rooting him on, you know. Like,
I don't know how.
Well, this is a very interesting thing, and it's going to be very interesting next week if the 99 can stay here. He's going to tighten it up. We're going to have a battle for the championship.
And that's all we can ask for, right? It's not settled before you start, and that's going to make some great racing next week.
He has got to hold the bottom. 4 to go, coming down to 3 to go, and poor Larson Parker's winning the race, getting no coverage because the story is about the championship and Tyler Lem and Brian Cole.
I would almost be on the mic right now telling these guys, fellas, if you want the position, you go to the high side. I can't sacrifice multiple spots.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say to that, there's no communicating.
Right. What was that? What did you say? Your mic broke up.
That's right. Wow, good little run by the 77. He peaks down low. He's got position. We're on 2 to go. Lem racing for his life. Hooks the corner on the high side. Great job by Lem. 1 to go here. Parker going to come home with a victory. He's got a couple more turns. The race for second is on. Lem desperately trying to hang on.
Driving his guts out here. He's got to hold on to that 77 machine. He's got to hold on to it.
Side by side, coming off of 4. Olsen's going to get him. He's going to get the wall.
No.
Down into Herzog. Herzog gets him. That's 2 positions on the last corner. Poor Lem. Larson Parker wins this race, making it 2 in a row.
You'll call the last lap.
Yeah,
what a great job by Larson. Wow, Baron.
Yeah. So high drama here in the last regular season race of the season here for the Raid Furniture Mart Super Series. Great racing. Got what I wanted out of that one, Dean.
Yeah, me too. You know, I just want to remind you, Baron, that I'm not an elephant, and I do forget. So coming into next week, we're going to have to remember what happened during these final laps here. This could be championship deciding.
Thank you.
Sure will. So Tyler Lem able to put 2 positions in the bank for his championship run with Brian Cole going into next week.
Yeah, and it's enough to keep him in it, and he's going to fight. He sure wanted to keep at least one of those last 2 he lost. But hey, how about Larson Parker? 2 in a row, an evolving driver here. He has really learned how to manage this machine, Baron.
Right, and that thrusts him into the championship discussion as well. So after points get shaken up here, we'll see how Larson filters into the overall picture.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, this will be his 3rd win. Everybody else got 1. The top 4 got 1 win. So he's got the most wins. You know, he might thrust him up here a little bit, and we'll see. We'll sort it all out, you know, next week before the race. It's going to be highly entertaining, though. It always is. Right now, let's take a short commercial break. We'll come back, and we'll do some race interviews. Welcome back to the Jesse Jones Hot Dogs 150. We talked a little hot dogs tonight, and right now Larson Parker out here hot dogging still.
Turning some laps. Look, he earned it. That's a victory celebration. He's got 3 of them in his belt, Dean.
He's looking like Ghost Rider there for a minute.
Oh yeah. Things on fire. So hot.
Exciting race here. You know, Parker putting on a show, the entertainment for the 2nd place there. What a great finish for these guys. Let's get into some interviews here. Let's bring in Mr. Mark Herzog, 3rd place tonight. What a deal to come out of this race with a 3rd place, Mark. Congrats.
Thank you, guys. It was a fun race. Went the whole 150 laps on one set.
Yeah, that's a fantastic job, Mark. You obviously had some speed. You had a little trouble. Let's get into the first lap there. What happened down in the corner? Or that was Barry. My bad, Mark. But I think you were involved in it, right, Mark?
Yeah, it was just, I guess, a big checkup, and everybody got into everybody. I got under the guy in front of me, and the guy behind me got under me. But no damage, so it was nothing bad.
Right. So you're a little behind the 8 ball. You end up 10 spots on the night. What do you think the key was to making up these spots? Was it on track stuff? Was it saving tires, or was it pit strategy, or just all the above?
Pretty much everything. I was planning to go one set of tires the whole way. I pitted early to get enough fuel, and then luckily a couple of cautions fell my way when the guys went into pit. I was able to keep my spot.
So we were talking a little bit about it. It's been a frustrating season for you, Mark. And, early on, you get that bang up and you're handling it very well in here. It was nothing. But I know you can get hot under the collar. It didn't seem to affect you. Were you affected there for a little bit? Or like, were you saying, like, oh, here we go again?
Yeah, pretty much. Here we go again. It seems like every time I get up into the top 5, I get an incident and get turned or something. But this time, I didn't lose too many spaces and was able to get them back at the end. But I'll take it. It's a good race for me.
Yeah, man, you've shown a lot of speed, Mark. We love seeing you out here. You look great tonight. Super happy for you to come up here and snag a podium finish here in 3rd place. Congrats on that. Look forward now to championship night and New Smyrna. How you feeling about that?
I like that track. Hopefully, I don't get involved in the guys who are running for the championship, though, because I missed too many races to be in it. But see what we can do.
Yes, sir. We all got a right to go out and race for wins, and we expect you to do just that. We'd love to see you in victory lane, Mark. Congrats again on 3rd place. And you want to give any shout outs? You go right ahead, brother.
I just need to give a shout out to the guys that are running the league. It's been fun since I found these guys, Marvin, and then he passed the torch on to the Coles. And you guys for putting on a real good broadcast for us. And as always, got to thank my wife for letting me come out here and spend an hour and a half or so with you guys.
All right, love it, Baron. Smart man, thanking the wife as well.
It's happy life, happy wife, Dean. There's never been any secret to that. Speaking of secrets, Scott Olson's a pretty good race car driver. Brought it home in 2nd place. Scott, congratulations, man. How was your evening?
Oh, man. Well, 2nd place, not too bad. Can't complain.
Scott, you had an up and down night. A little bit of trouble early. Found your way through the field due to some pit strategy or not. Relatively newcomer to the series. What are your thoughts on the series and how it's playing out for you as we close in on championship weekend?
Series is great. Love racing with these guys for the most part. I got in a little trouble early, and we had the early caution. And I figured, put some weight in this rear end here. Maybe we can't get it to rotate off the corner a little better. And sure enough, that extra fuel back there, I noticed I could get to the inside of these guys on the exits of corners and get that good run down the straight. But man, I got a little incident there in turns 3 and 4 with Dylan. I was just trying to be patient, wait for the right opportunity to get to the inside there off the corner, and just trying to set up the guy in front of me. And Dylan wasn't as patient as I was, so a little contact was made there. Nothing against Dylan. Can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing.
Byproduct of short track racing right there, huh?
That's exactly it. These cars are so matched up, so great. It's just they drive pretty decent. But yeah, this thing was fun to drive tonight.
So, biggest question we've been asking all evening. You ever been to Martinsville, get one of them hot dogs?
No, I have not. I'd rather get the clock, but yeah, no hot dogs.
No argument there. Grab that grandfather clock and go on home and eat as many hot dogs as you want. So, Scott, one more week to go. 2nd place finish tonight. Who you want to thank for your season thus far with the Furniture Mart Super Series?
Well, I got to thank the wife, of course, just like Mark did there earlier. Happy wife, happy life, all that good stuff. Got to thank these guys here at iRate putting on this show every week. I know it's not easy putting a league together. Wind Tunnel TV, you guys for putting on this great show for everybody else to watch later on or live. It's just been a lot of fun.
Dean, second place finisher. Scott Olson here in victory lane with me, or excuse me, on the podium with me. The first of many solid finishes for this driver.
Yeah, I mean the 77 got the finish. We talked a little bit about it during the race. It was we were fluctuating with pit stops where he might be able to finish. This is a great finish for him. But one guy who's done it twice in a row now, a little bit better. That's the 18 Larson Parker back in victory lane. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Wow, Larson. So we talked a little bit about learning the long run and all that last week. I don't think there's any conversation anymore about that. You got that under control. What was the key to victory tonight?
I don't know. I was kind of relying on my pit strategy, but I only pit once, so I don't really know, I guess.
Well, it's better to be lucky than good, Parker, they say. So, but man, you were good tonight, and I thought you did a great job. There's a little concern there before the last caution. It looked like there might be the guys were getting on you a little bit, but that last restart, man, you just got away from them.
Yeah, I think that caution kind of helped my tires cool down a little bit because right after that, the car tightened back up and it was good to go.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet for sure. And you had lots of challenges out here tonight. I think you started at the back, Larson. Talk a little bit about being back there and what it was like. What can you do at a place like Martinsville when you're at the back like that?
So me and my brother had a talk before the race, and we decided I was starting at the back. So I bought the track about 2 minutes before the race started, and I didn't really know what to expect going in here.
Fair enough. Well, hey, I mean, fast learner, Parker. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, you've learned the tire saving, you've learned the strategy, although you don't seem to be too sure. Maybe you're just lucky with the strategy, but I think you learned it. Incredibly fast learner out here. I mean, how about New Smyrna? Do you got to go learn that now too?
No, I have quite a bit of laps there, so we should be good. But that track is kind of harder to save tires at.
Yeah, for sure. Going to be an interesting finale. You put yourself in a position now where you can think about championship racing, Larson. I don't know if you're close quite enough, but maybe need some luck. Hey, man, and luck's been following your way. So, congratulations on this victory. That's 2 in a row, brother. And anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out, you go right ahead.
I'd like to thank my brother for helping me make the decision pre-race to go to the back, and then Generator Source, you guys for putting on the broadcast, and all these guys for putting on a good show.
All right, Baron. Larson Parker, 18, parked in victory lane. One more time.
3 times is a charm, right? So Larson Parker doing it, putting it on these boys late in the season. So congratulations to Larson and all the drivers thus far in this season. I want to put it out there that I'm not going to be able to be with championship week next week, so I'm going to miss the race. But I want to thank each and everybody in the YouTube land that stayed with us the whole season, all the drivers, the admin, you, Dean. It's been a great run so far this season, and I hope you guys get a great show next week.
Well, we thank you, Baron. We'll definitely miss you. We'll try and replace you with someone fantastic, but not nearly as fantastic as you, Baron. And nonetheless, I've enjoyed myself this season as well. Look forward to championship week next week myself. And you can see here, it has tightened up. Totally unofficial points here, but a little bit of a tightening here. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. We'll have all that coverage as we do every Wednesday, 9:20 p.m. The Raid Furniture Mart Late Model Series now. So make sure you tune in to the finale next week. For myself, Dean Doucette, for Mr. Baron Labosco, that wraps it up for Martinsville, and we'll see you right here next time on Wind Tunnel TV.